You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. Well, the Winnipeg Baroque Festival heads into its final weekend, and there are no shortage of events happening. Solo recitals, grand choral birthday bashes, hip instrumentalists, a busy musical offering coming up over the next 3 days. Thankfully, to keep us entertained and energized, tomorrow morning, cantatas, cambers, claviers, and coffee takes place at CMU. To tell us more, Nolan Kehler has joined me. Hello, Nolan.
Well, hello.
Wonderful to have you back, and what a wonderful alliterative title. Can you tell us about how it all fits together?
It's the thing that I'm most proud of with the work with the Baroque Festival this year is having come up with that title. Everything else is just gravy after that, or coffee, if you will. So this came about because in conversations with CMU music staff and with the music community that exists around the university as a whole, there really was a desire to contribute to the Baroque Festival in the ways that CMU and its predecessor colleges contributed to the scene in years past. There's this incredible tradition that goes all the way back to the days when they would sing with noted conductors like Helmut Rilling, or even that was led by folks like Henry Engbrecht and William Berg and John Martins, and we could go on and on and on, but there's just such a tradition of wanting to contribute in this space. And this year, with the expansion of the festival, there was a real hunger to do something. And so the next question becomes, well, what can we offer that's a little bit more unique and can remind people of what CMU has to offer the community? And so the idea came forward, well, what about the Coffee Cantata by J.S. Bach? And so that was sort of the root of it, and then we can add parts to that concert, hip instrumentalists, as you said in your intro.
Historically informed performers.
Indeed.
But also just cool players.
It cuts both ways.
Yeah.
And so we're very, very excited to offer all of those things at the concert on Saturday morning.
Well, so looking forward to it. Now, let's chat a little bit more about who all will be involved, because you yourself are a CMU grad and you're returning to your old stomping ground. Tell us about the musical community that's going to be gathering tomorrow morning.
Certainly. So we have former students such as myself paired with current staff and people from what I like to call the CMU Extended Universe, which are people who teach in the Community School of Music and the Arts, for instance, or players in the Mennonite Community Orchestra. So along with myself as singers, we have Katie Hadalan Sharif, who teaches in the CSMA program, wonderful soprano, and Matt Pauls, who is an instructor at CMU and will be lending his baritone to the role of Schlendrian in the Coffee Cantata. Add to that a couple of other soloists, recent Verna Mae Jansen scholarship competition winner Will Harder on the violin, performing Bach's an excerpt from Bach's second violin sonata, and Raymond Ding. If you've hung around the Winnipeg Symphony in the last little while, you will have seen that phenom is maybe an overused word in our society, but I think it's warranted here for Raymond Ding, 16 years old, student of Shirley Elias, another member of the faculty at CMU, and he'll be performing the toccata in C minor on the piano. And then us as vocalists will also share each a sacred cantata aria from myself from Cantata 114, Katie from Cantata 100, and Matt from Cantata 82. And that will round out the morning's performance.
Yeah, this is the first morning offering in the Winnipeg Baroque Festival. 11 a.m. sounds like a great way to begin the weekend, if you ask me. Tickets are $35, a concert that is included for any of those who purchase a festival pass. Now, speaking of the festival, and while I've got you here, Nolan, you have been actively involved and continue to be involved not only as a performer, but also as a coordinator. So I'm curious, how's the festival been going thus far?
You can never really overstate how wonderful it is that people come out and support the arts and support these amazing concerts. And we see it time and time again, but it does never cease to bring a real sense of gratitude and a real amazement factor at how much people in the city appreciate the art form that we're presenting. And so even to lower that barrier for access to Baroque music, to include not just music from the time period, but pieces that also speak into what those timeless emotions that exist from that time period. You had Elroy Friesen from Canzona in here earlier, and he talked about the piece by Caroline Shaw that plays off of Buxtehude's Ad Manus, for instance. And the more that we get into that repertoire and have music that speaks into those timeless sort of emotions, and also there's not really as much of a barrier for how you share that, right? There are ways that you can keep sharing the music from whatever instrument you want. It does not have to be a hip instrument, for instance. And I think that that's really exciting to be able to celebrate the music from that time period in so many different ways. And of course, it means a little bit more work for me to facilitate 9 concerts instead of, I think the high water mark before was 3.
Yeah.
But it makes it so much more worth it. And I think that the offerings capture a wider variety and a different scale of audience than we've had before, and that's really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it is a true flood this year in terms of offerings over this to play with that high watermark idea. But the thing that has struck me as we've continued to welcome so many of these performers and guests into the studio is how so many of them come back to this term community building, and that's exactly what's happening here. It's a community, an established community, also a growing community, and also one that welcomes new individuals who may just be curious about what's going on. So this Winnipeg Baroque Festival provides exactly that: choral offerings, solo offerings, instrumental offerings. And one last thing. I mean, mentioned it's busy for you. You got all that going on. You're also singing tonight. All Saints Anglican. Right. Yeah, friendly reminder about that. I mean, it really is a true busy weekend for you, and wishing you great success, Nolan. Great having you here in the studio.
Thank you for having me, Simon, and thank you to Classic 107 for all the support that you have given to the Winnipeg Baroque Festival this year.
Oh, we're just so excited to do it. So many outstanding, talented individuals who are performing in this great offering, a week-long celebration, 9 concerts. You can, of course, find more details at classic107.com under the events tab, or head to winnipegbaroquefestival.com. Nolan, thanks again for being here.
Thank you so much.